Hey all, welcome back to Fire and Water Travel. My name is Darren, and today we're going to do a quick golf cart tour around Grand Turk. I've been to Grand Turk a few times, but I never did a complete tour of the island in a golf cart. That's what we're going to do today. I'll be right back, and we'll show you what we did. Hey all, welcome to Fire and Water Travel Services. We specialize in affordable luxury and culinary adventures with all types of travel, including cruises, all-inclusives, and any type of travel that you're looking for. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and make sure you like and subscribe and share this channel. Alright all, like I said, I've been to Grand Turk many times before. This is the first time on a Holland America ship. I happen to be on a travel agency training, and it's always great pulling into Grand Turk because of the beautiful blue water and the gorgeous white sandy beach there, and the port area is also just beautiful. You can see the other side of the island from here, and as you can tell, it was just a great beautiful morning with weather and all that. One of the things that I have never done when I've been to Grand Turk is actually tour the whole entire island. We usually just stay in the port, hang out at the beach, and relax at the pool at Margaritaville. But today we decided to go ahead and rent a golf cart and kind of tour the island, which was pretty cool. It's a very popular excursion here, and you can see below in the comments or in the description, I'll have some links to some different companies that have that excursion. One of the things I did not realize was that Grand Turk, like Bonaire and a couple other islands, is actually an old salt producing island, and some of the ponds, they got the old salt ponds are still throughout the island, and they have the donkeys that are wild pretty much. They used the donkeys back in the olden days when this was a salt producing island, and they used those to kind of pull and use those for, pulling carts and all kinds of that stuff. But the donkeys are wild, and they have them pretty much all over the island. Another thing that they have here is flamingos, because the flamingos like to eat the brine shrimp that are in the salt ponds. The highly salted water produces a lot of brine shrimp, and flamingos love to eat brine shrimp, and that's what makes them pink. But just a pretty cool little history lesson there. I didn't really know that. One of the things you want to go to is the lighthouse at the northern part of Grand Turk, and it's probably the most popular destination when you're renting these golf carts. It does have a little visitors area here, places to get some snacks, restrooms, and of course the lighthouse is here, and they have some other little placards that kind of tell you the history of the area and all that. But this is, like I said, one of the top spots to visit when you're doing these golf cart tours on the island. Has a little history lesson here on some of the shipwrecks that happened right here on this northern point. But one of the cool things is they had this little couple different bars here. One is called the Lost Donkey. That's right here. It's kind of the bigger setting that's kind of overlooking the area. Has a couple other seating areas. They have little events here occasionally. And if you keep walking, it goes right down to, there's a cliff area here, and there's a little bar down here as well. And it's called the Cliffside Bar. And just a pretty cool little area. People come down here and take pictures and all that. And like I said, guys, this does sit right on top of a cliff that's overlooking the water, of course. One of the cool things was when we were visiting here, I really didn't see a whole lot of flamingos on the island in the waters themselves, but we did see this big, huge flock of flock of flamingos flying off the coast of here, which was pretty cool. You can really see them from the video, but you can tell that they are a bunch of pink flamingos there, just flying over the water here. Not sure where they were going, but it was right here by this cliff. So getting back to touring the island, there's really not a whole lot more to see on the island except these salt ponds and some of the areas all around. They did have some boats and stuff that were kind of in those salt ponds that were just abandoned. There were a couple little beachy bar areas on other parts of the island that you could stop at and just kind of visit. Just little cool little places to stop and have a beer, and that had little beach areas. This was kind of like the downtown main touristy area, which, like I said, just had these little docks and piers and a little main street that had a museum of the Turks and Caicos Islands, and just some little shops. And these were mostly local type shops that actually had some pretty cool local artisan souvenirs to buy, unlike some of the stuff at the port, which is all just Chinese imported stuff that is, you know, the name of the island on it. These had some really cool looking local art souvenir items you could purchase as well, and of course, you know, the beachy clothes and all that. But I was really impressed with some of these little areas. But like I said, this little area is probably only about 100 yards long, and it's right here in this main area. And that's about it. There was really not a whole lot to see on Grand Turk. It's cool to do for a couple hours just to drive around and see the different parts of the island. Then we made it back to the port, of course, and hung out at Margaritaville. Of course, the Margaritaville pool and bar and restaurant here is probably the most popular hangout, of course, because they do have that huge pool here to just relax at and get a couple drinks and all that. And so that's probably the most popular. A lot of people just get off the boat here and hang out at the pool, listen to the DJ and the music, and get a couple drinks at Margaritaville, maybe a little bit of lunch. And if you are going to do that, you plan on doing that for the day, I suggest you get down here as early as possible. Our ship got in before the Carnival ship that was also here on the same day, so if a lot of our people were able to get some space down by the pool and the beach area before the Carnival ship arrived. But as you can tell, they also have this cool flow rider here. It does cost some money, but if you want to do the flow rider, they do have one right here next to the pool at Margaritaville. And there was a bunch of kids doing this when we were here. If you've never been to Grand Turk before, the cruise port, it's got a nice little beach right here as soon as you get off. So that's really cool. You can actually do some snorkeling right there. There's some pretty good snorkeling and a nice cool beach right as you get off the ship. They only have 2 ships in port at the same time. Like I said, the Carnival ship came in a little bit later than us, so people on our ship were able to get some space. But it was a great time. Highly suggest it if you've never done that golf cart trip around Grand Turk. It's really easy to do. You can't get lost. Doesn't cost a whole lot of money. Check out the links below for that. But if you want to get on a cruise to go to Grand Turk, let me know. Contact us at Darren at fireandwatertravel.com or check out fireandwatertravel.com. I'll see you on the next Fire and Water Travel video. Thanks for joining.